sliding into my chair. Hey, I think I've done a video from this chair before, as I've mentioned when I did it last time. This is a commemorative chair, as people often place commemorative benches and things, and it's to a fellow named Chris, who unfortunately passed away, I guess, and the dude abides. So again, as I mentioned last time we were in this same chair, to all you achievers out there, this chair is for you. I'm here to talk about, I'm David Lemieux, and I'm here to talk about Dave's Picks 2013 subscriptions, and also Dave's Picks Volume 5, which I'm really excited about. One of these shows that should have come out a long time ago. And every time I've heard it over the last many years, I've said, why isn't this show out there? And then I talk to friends and they ask me the same question. So my apologies for not getting this show out sooner. It's really upper level dead. I mentioned this when we did our last video for Dave's Picks Volume 4, that Volume 5 is one of those shows that really a lot of people consider a top 50, maybe top 30 show. So that's saying a lot for this band. I mean, I've got, you know, lots of shows that are my top 30, probably 100 of them, but this show is really one of them. And in terms of unreleased dead, it's one of the best. But anyhow, 2013, we're going to do Dave's Picks again, 4 of them, and we're going to do them as we did in 2012, February, May, August, and October, I guess. October, November? October, maybe October. So we're going to do 4 of them, and they're all going to be 3 CD sets. If you subscribed in 2012, you'll remember they were all 3 CD sets. They were all complete shows, which is something else we're going to focus on. Of course, get you out some complete shows. And for subscribers, we're also, of course, going to include a bonus disc. If you subscribed in 2012, you got a great bonus disc from 1974 from the Capitol Center. And we don't know what that's going to be yet for 2013, but it's going to be something cool. It's going to be something unique, interesting, and available only to subscribers. And the other thing I want to point out, and I say this because a lot of friends who didn't get Dave's Picks, they email me like, oh dude, did it really sell out? And I say, yes it did. So they have all sold out, or at least the first 3 have. 4 I don't know if it has yet, but it surely will. So if you're interested in getting the Dave's Picks, definitely subscribe, because if you wait until they go on sale when they're released, they're usually gone within a couple of weeks. And if you happen to be on vacation, lucky you, you might miss it. Or you might just not happen to check your computer in those 2 weeks, or whatever the case is. I can't call everybody and tell them it's on sale. I wish I could. I can't email everybody. So you have to pay attention to DeadNet, or just subscribe now and then be done with it. Subscribe once, put in your address, and then you just 4 times a year you'll get these things in the mail. So 1 through 4 we did a 1977 show from the Mosque in Richmond, Virginia, May 77. What more needs to be said? We did a summer 74 from Hartford, Connecticut, from Dillon Stadium, Wall of Sound show. I always do this when I talk about the Wall of Sound. So it's a Wall of Sound show, wonderful show. We did a full show from Chicago, 1971, October, Keith Godchau's 3rd show, plus a whole bunch of material from the previous night in Chicago. And then Volume 4, which has just come out, which if you don't have it, there might be some left, I don't know. Go to dead.net, which you're probably watching this at dead.net, so stay here and go look. But it's the show from William and Mary College in Williamsburg, Virginia, September 1976. Great show. Again, they've all sold out. They've been, I think, quite well received. I don't know. I like them. Friends seem to like them. Friends are pretty honest with me. Sometimes a little too honest. No, I appreciate the honesty. So, the big announcement, I guess. Dave's Picks Volume 5 to open up. Oh, and I have a bunch of, a little bit to say afterwards, so do stick around if you get a chance. I know I talk a lot, but I'm going to talk about volume. I don't know what volumes will be. Later in 2013, we're going to have something very special also. Certainly something worth getting on board with the subscription for if you don't want to miss out on an incredibly rare and excellent. Rare is one thing, but it's got to be rare and excellent. Rare and excellent piece of Grateful Dead music, or many pieces of Grateful Dead music. But more on that later, and then much more on that in probably a couple of months as we kind of sort through our new discovery. But I'll get to that in a minute. So Dave's Picks Volume 5 to open up our 2013 excellent show, complete show, November 17th, 1973 at UCLA, Pauley Pavilion. This is a show during one of the greatest months in Grateful Dead history, really up there with May of 1977 or spring of 90, as we just had our spring 90 box, up there with the fall of 72, up there obviously with Europe 72, November 73, December also, but November I find is the real peak, where you have the 3 nights at Winterland, you have a night in San Diego, which could be a release down the road too. The San Diego show is really good. And then the UCLA show, and then the 2 in Denver. We released the second night in Denver, plus material from the first night last year, a couple years ago, as part of the road trip series. And then December, where the November tour just continues with the, well, it ends November with the Boston shows, Dick's Picks Volume 14. Yeah, so really wonderful month. And on November 17th, the Dead find themselves playing at UCLA, the big LA show for the year. They played LA, yeah, they played in the summer, I guess, some outdoor gigs, but then they played the big indoor arena gig in November. Wake of the Flood had just come out, and they paid tribute to that by playing a few of the Wake of the Flood tunes. Wake of the Flood had come out about a month before, almost exactly a month, on October 15th. So now they had all these songs under their belt for almost the whole year of 73, in the case of Stella Blues in 72. Eyes of the World, Here Comes Sunshine, songs that they would end up playing at UCLA. But they come into UCLA really on a high. That Winterland run and then the San Diego show on the 14th. Some of the best Grateful Dead, really one of the best Grateful Dead weeks in Grateful Dead history. Then they tag onto that this UCLA show. So they show up, sound on this too is incidentally spectacular. Really, really great sound quality, great mix and great sound. And they open up with Me and My Uncle, which is a pretty rare opener. They did it a couple times in 73, they did it again in Denver, I think. So the Me and My Uncle, and right from the beginning, you know it's going to be a really good show, because it's not just a throwaway Me and My Uncle, ding, 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 and then get on with the show. It's really, they mean business. So to open the show with that, it's followed by, to me, one of the top 3 versions of Here Comes Sunshine ever performed. The one on Dick's Picks Volume 1, going back almost 20 years, 1993, 40 years from now, but was released in 93. Dick's Picks Volume 1, the song that opened up Dick's Picks, the Here Comes Sunshine from 12/19, a month later, is to me one of the best, but this one is a very, very close second. It's, to think that this is the second song of the night, you know you're in for a special. I think we'll put this Here Comes Sunshine up as a part of the listening party, so after you do this, listen to me talk for a while, you can go check that out probably. I don't know if that'll be available immediately, but I think it just occurred to me that we should get that song up, because it's really one of, it's a Here Comes Sunshine that it blows my mind. If I had to make a mixtape of 5 hours of my favorite Grateful Dead music ever, without a doubt this would be on there. Without a doubt, this Here Comes Sunshine, great stuff. Followed up by Looks Like Rain, Deal, a bunch of kind of common material for the time. The first set is pretty common for 1973. A great Races On, and typical of fall of 73, a great China Rider. Really, oh, sunglasses down. The China Rider is really one of the most interesting ones, and there's some great ones in 73 and 74. To me, that's when China Rider was its best. And there's a handful of China Riders I know of, maybe 8 or 10, that are exceptionally above and beyond how good it normally was in 73, and this is one of those China Riders. Another song that's also, I think, really hot in 73 is Big River, the one drummer arrangement of Big River, and this is one of those big rivers that just soars. Both Jerry, Keith, and Billy doing some spectacular stuff with Bobby and Phil holding down the fort. Vocally, great stuff. And then it ends, the first set ends with Around and Around. Really, Around and Around. I've said this before, that when Bobby played around, when Bobby sang Around and Around in 72, 73, 74, I'm always surprised that he didn't rip his vocal cords out and not be able to sing the second set, because every single Around and Around that they played in 73, he's just screaming. It's unreal what he was doing, and he did that often. So it's amazing. He's still singing. This is 40 years later, and he's still singing very well. So we've got this great first set, and it's a nice, concise, perfect career overview of the Den. A career overview is, I mean, it means 8 years of Grateful Dead history. But anyhow, great first set. The Here Comes Sunshine and the China Rider and the Big River and the Round and Round are some of the highlights to me. But there's a lot of other, the races on. Really, really good first set. Completely enjoyable. Beyond enjoyable. Wonderful first set. The second set is what gets talked about a lot too. They open things up with Row Jimmy, which was somewhat uncommon to open a set with a nice mellow Row Jimmy to open things up. A couple more little short tunes. Jack Straw's in there. There's a good Ramble on Rose. I know there's a good Ramble. Bobby plays some great guitar on Ramble on Rose on this one. But then you get, to me, one of the highlight jams of 1973, period. It'd been played once before, about a week before, exactly a week before, on November 10th at Winterland. Playing in the band, Uncle John's band, Morning Dew, back into Uncle John's band, back into playing in the band. We call it the playing in the band sandwich. And they did it 3 times. They did it at Winterland on November 10th. They did it at the Cow Palace on March 23rd, the Wall of Sound show, the Wall of Sound debut at the Cow Palace. And this one to me has always been the best one. And again, that's why I say at the beginning of this little video, why wasn't this show released before? So again, apologies for not getting it out sooner. I love the November 10th show, and that's part of a box set. I love the Cow Palace show. It's a great show, great stuff. But this is really one of the best jams the Dead ever did. And I'm not saying that with any hyperbole, and I'm not trying to sell records here. That'd be nice, but I'm just telling you that to my ears, I remember when we put the Cow Palace out. That was a long time ago. That was 10 years ago. A very good friend of mine, I used to go to a lot of shows with him, used to tape with him, still in touch with him, lives in New York now. He said, yeah, you know, Cow Palace is good, but man, that UCLA playing sandwich. And I totally agreed, and I said, yeah, we'll get to that. You know, we just done, that was right, when we did the Cow Palace, we had just done the Oklahoma City as Dick's Picks 19. The October 19th show is Dick's Picks 19. So we didn't want to follow it up too quickly with some 73, so we went with that. For anyhow, whatever reason, here we are finally releasing 11/17/73 at UCLA. So the jam, the playing in the band, is a really spacey. It's what you'd expect from a 1973 playing in the band, way, way out there. And then it goes into a note-perfect Uncle John's band, one of the best ones I've heard from 73. Morning Dew, perfect, perfect. The quiet parts, you can hear a pin drop, and then they build it up to monumental levels. And then just as they go to that final jam of Morning Dew, the familiar melody of Uncle John's band, perfectly executed, really. Kudos to these guys, you know, for these guys were good. You know, it boggles the mind how good they were sometimes. And then once the Uncle John's band reprise is done, back into another spacey jam. You're back into another like 5-7 minute playing in the band spacey jam, and then the playing in the band reprise. So in most cases with a lot of bands, this might have been the end. This is an hour in, more than an hour into the set. Then you get a whole bunch more music. You get a beautiful, beautiful, really nice Stella Blue. Standalone, I love standalone Stella Blues. I love them when they come out of Eyes. I love all that kind of stuff. But you get this beautiful standalone Stella Blue. And then another huge jam for the night, Eyes of the World, which I've heard some friends say this is one of their, if not their favorite Eyes of the World ever. And I'll agree. It's just a perfect, concise Eyes of the World. Really, really great stuff. With a nice jam at the end. Really nice jam at the end. So Eyes of the World into a kick butt Sugar Magnolia. Oh, we got crows coming. So you have this amazing, sorry, sunglasses, great Sugar Mag to end the show, and then a nice, simple, common for the time, but really good Casey Jones encore. Really great Casey Jones, very, very low-key Casey Jones, nice and mellow, and then it builds up steam. No pun intended, being a train song. Builds up steam, and then rocks the place out with a huge one. But this is, to me, the tempo of Casey Jones in 73 with the one drummer. I just really, really like it. So once again, this is a show I've been turning people onto for years. A lot of people ask me, hey, you know, I really dig 73, but there's so much. Can you point me to something? And this is a show that I've always pointed people to. It's very, you know, common out there. Doesn't sound quite like this. Of course, Jeffrey has been working on it for a while, from the master reels, mastered in HD CD. Really spectacular, one of the best sounding tapes of the era. Kid Candelario recorded, great stuff, great sounding venue, I guess. So you've got a show that, to me, in every way, fits perfectly into the mold of a complete show release. First set, terrific. Like I said, the Here Comes Sunshine, the China Ride, the Big River, races on the Round and Round. The deal on the Looks Like Rain, is really excellent. Even the Me and My Uncle opener. I say even because usually Me and My Uncle's like what it is, and then it's over. This one just really kicks butt from the beginning. And then the second set is truly one of the best second sets I think the Dead ever did, period. Nothing more to say about that. So my point in being here today is partly to talk about this show, Dave's Picks Volume 5, which I guess is on sale now through subscriptions. But it's mainly also to talk about the subscription. It's 2013, and I'm trying to tell you as your Deadhead friend, don't miss out, because it bums me out when people, you know, they have a, I think the subscriptions are going to be on sale for 4 months. So you have time, 3 months, I don't know, for a while. So you have time to get on board with it. But then the subscriptions will end. Subscribers get the great bonus disc. We don't know what it's going to be yet. It'll accompany either Volume 6 or Volume 7. Stay tuned to dead.net for info on that. I assume it'll accompany Volume 6, but maybe 7, just don't know. But we'll let you know what that is soon enough. And the other thing I want to talk about, with 2013, we've got recently, and I don't want to go into too much detail about this, this hasn't happened very much, and we'll go into big detail about it once we've sorted through what we got, but we've got tapes back just a couple of times. I've been working here for 13 years, almost 14 years, and only once have we got a big cache of tapes back. That was the Houseboat tapes from '71. And quite recently, very excited about this. Again, I'm not keeping secrets, we haven't sorted through everything, but we recently got a sizable batch of music back from late '69, early '70, some other choice bits, some stuff that not only have we never heard the tapes of any audience, soundboard, it doesn't matter, not only have we never heard that stuff, there's music on some of these tapes that we don't even have a set list for. We don't even know that there's certain songs that were played that we now know were played, because as we sort through these things. So we're hoping to get something like that out maybe later in the year. We don't know yet. Again, we have to check them out. But it's really exciting as a Deadhead, as an archivist, as a guy who helps put together these CD releases. This is as exciting as it gets. You know, rare stuff, extremely excellent stuff. The bits I've heard are really good, and I really want to make something happen in 2013. Again, we don't know if it's going to for sure, but we'll have more information on that before the subscription thing. But point is, I think we're going to get something out in 2013 as part of Dave's Picks, and I don't think you're going to want to miss out on it. I certainly wouldn't. Certainly something that hopefully people are going to get excited about, because I certainly am. But anyhow, more on that in a couple of months. As we sort through things and we know what we're doing, we're going to have a lot more information on this. But again, it's a major, major discovery. Find, whatever you want to do, return, however you want to call it. But we have a lot of people to thank for making it happen. We'll get to that later. But anyhow, thank you for listening to me. I know I go on for a while. Hopefully you've enjoyed the background. Oh, there's somebody on a paddle board, which looks kind of like fun. Looks mellow. Stand up, paddle around. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a paddleboard. He's going to go by the chair in just a little bit. But thank you for listening. 2013 is going to be hugely exciting in the Grateful Dead world. We have obviously the 4 Dave's Picks. We have nothing planned beyond 5 yet. We're working on ideas for 6, but we also have some other very cool ideas. You know, if you've been following us the last decade, you know, things like the Fillmore West, things like the Winterland boxes from '73 and '77, of course, the Europe '72 steamer trunk, the Spring '90 box. We have fun doing these things. You know, we do them because we enjoy doing them. You know, I'm sure it's a business, yeah, but that's not why we do it. It's not why I do it, and I certainly don't think the people I work with, it's not why they're doing it either. We just have a fun time doing it. So 2013, the things we've been discussing are as exciting as what we've been doing the last few years, and perhaps more so in a couple of cases. But more on that later. So thanks for listening. Dave's Picks Volume 5, 6, 7, 8, which is to say the subscription, on sale now at dead.net. Do not get disappointed and miss out. And also the bonus disc, only to subscribers. And we put a lot of thought into those bonus discs. So these are not just throwaways. These are things that are as important as the actual picks in terms of music quality, and are things that you shouldn't miss out on. So anyhow, Dave's Picks 2013 subscriptions. Check them out now at dead.net. We will have more information on volume 6, 7, 8 as we get it. We'll come back with more of these horrendously long videos. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you here next time.